We'll take a look now at what happens when the light source is in front of the boxes. So again, our eye level at 2/3 of the way up the page. We'll have one vanishing point for a 1-point box in the middle, left and right for our 2-point box. And when I start my boxes, and then our image area, we want to leave our, not get too large here, so that we have room for our vanishing points, our left and right vanishing points, to appear far apart. So I'm making sure that I don't exceed, that I don't become too large here. Okay, so start with our 1-point box, and I'm going to put it over here to the side. And remember, cross your corners. And you need the vanishing point to find out how much smaller the more distant aspect will be. There's a tendency to want to speed, but you've got to be careful. You want to make sure that you're quick but accurate. So now our 2-point box, we'll put it sort of approximately in the same height. 2-point boxes are at an angle, so there's foreshortening, so it's a little difficult at times to try to get it the same size as the other box. Foreshortening being, as we saw that on our chair that we drew in the first exercise, that the far side was more foreshortened than the front. So you just get a feel for it, just as you do when you're drawing an equal-sided box. You get a feel for whether or not that the sides are equal when it's in perspective. It's just by covering miles and miles and miles of paper and using tons and tons and tons of ink. That's the only way to get a feel for this. And it's something you can be doing all the time, anytime you get a free moment. Okay, so I have my hidden bits, I've got my bits that are on the outside, and my ballpoint pen was great. It gave me very light lines, and when I needed it, I could heavy them up. Now, as I mentioned, our light source is going to be out front this time. Now I could put it over here and have side lighting, which is probably the best idea. In front and from the side is the most revealing light source there is. It reveals the form so beautifully. So I can even choose, say I want to go about that, like a 45-degree angle. This is a 90-degree angle, and I want to go about a 45-degree angle. I can choose where I want this light source to be. Okay, I want it to be about there. Now I don't want the light source to be, the shadow to be too dark and too big in this case, so the higher I can put it, the better. I don't mind that it's out of the picture. It's okay. In most of your drawings it won't be. It'll be a light source probably in the ceiling, and it will be in the center as well. So just take away the idea of this being at the side, and you'll have everything that you need to know. Okay, so there's my 45-degree angle, and now I need to consult the light source itself and bring it down to this corner. And that's how long the shadow for this line is in my shadow. So now I go back to here, go through this point, and I'm going to use my light source as a vanishing point again. There we are. And you'll notice, same thing. I could have just as easily, once I found out the length, I could just as easily have used that vanishing point to join those dots. We didn't even need to. So once you have a length, that's what I'm trying to get across here, that once you have a length, you can then use the vanishing point. I was trying to draw this line, and it was drawn in perspective, so will its shadow be. And now, if all goes well here, if I use this, I'm looking for the shadow for this line now. If I use this vanishing point, go through this dot, then this will be a straight line. That's a little off, maybe. That's why I was thinking that maybe when you're doing this for the first time, to make these observations, you might want to use your ruler so you're not... So, but this is our shadow, and quite a bit of it I drew with the vanishing point. I started with the actual vanishing point for the box. So this area right here is the shadow for this side of the box. And it makes sense, because if the light's hitting the floor here, then this is all lit up. So this will be lit up. And then the top is getting the most light, because it's directly facing the light. This is oblique to the light, so you would look for the most colorful aspect of the box would be here on the front plane. Now we're working with our 2-point box, and it's all the same. So I'm going to go from the corner to this corner and keep on going, because I don't know where it's going to stop. I don't know how long that has to be. And now I'm going to take my light source, a bit of a trip over here, a bit of a distance, but what that first corner tells me about the situation is that this is all lit up. I can tell because my shadow is beginning over here, so the whole front part is lit up. And it would be my middle value, the actual color of whatever color the box is would be there. Now, what I love about this exercise as well is it's another one of those where you have to ignore everything else and just keep your focus on the line that you're actually dealing with. Everything else has to disappear from your thoughts as you work toward finding where these meet. And you'll see one more time, this could have easily have been drawn with the vanishing point. Given that I'm probably off a little bit here and there, it's pretty close. That would have been easily drawn with the vanishing point. Now I'll do the next one, although I could very easily just use this vanishing point to draw it, but you'll see. Now I'm going for this corner, my one remaining corner, to answer that question. And there it is. And I could easily use my vanishing point to have joined those last two. And there's my shadow. This is the shadow for this side of the box. This area back here is the shadow for the back of the box. And this would be our shadow plane, our shadow side of the box, the most shadowed side, and this would be our middle value side, the side that has the most color, the most distinctive color, telling us what color this box actually was. This side would be grayed. These two sides are in shadow, so they'd be gray. They wouldn't be as bright as this side.